In this session here, we want to show you how transaction to from other locations works. On my left side, I have my enterprise. On my right side, I have location number 2. Let's go to general ledger real quick. So every location and the enterprise is going to have this one journal called transaction to from other locations. So if I go over to location 2, you're going to see the same account. This is the account where the money flows across from a location to the enterprise, or from location through enterprise to another location. So think of it as the bridge between your separate locations and your enterprise. Let's go make a couple of transactions and we'll see what happens. So let's pull over location 2 here. So what would be a typical thing that would actually go from location to the enterprise? Well, how about a bank deposit? So if I go to my banking at my location and I go to my cash drawer, I may want to deposit some of this money or all of the money into my enterprise bank account. So when I go make a deposit, let's just do a couple of American Express here. I'm going to select them. I'm going to hit next, enterprise to bank account, and we're going to make a deposit. So here's what's happening in the general ledger. We'll go to our audit trail. Here's my money coming from the cash drawer going to the bridge. So it's going to pull it from the drawer, puts it on the bridge. So at this point, it's halfway across the bridge. Now, if I go look at my enterprise, here's what happens. So what it's doing at the enterprise side is it's pulling the transaction from the bridge and putting it into the bank. 99.9% of what's going to happen in your system is going to happen this way, and it's all automated. You don't have to do anything. It's automated. But anytime you think about this, if I need to go fix things, make adjustments, maybe manual adjustments, if I'm going to go across from a location to the enterprise or vice versa, I have to cross the bridge. So how would I put this money in here, this American Express deposit, back to the cash drawer? How am I going to take it out of the enterprise bank and put it into the cash drawer? So it's going to be 2 completely separate transactions. I have to do one transaction at the enterprise, one transaction at the location. Let's go do it. So I'm going to go to new transaction. I'm going to go into my bank. We're going to add a line or a bank account. I have to put a reference number. Now I can use an entry number, date, whatever I want. I'll just use the entry number here. And I'm going to move Amex to location 2. So I'm going to pull that money out of the bank. I'm going to add another line and put it on the bridge. See, I cannot access the cash drawer to location 2 here. So I have to put it on the bridge. The system will automatically put the offsetting number in there so it makes sure it's in balance. So this is going to be step 1. Now, again, if you want to view this as debit credit, bottom left, you can click debit credit. Okay. Now I'm going to post this. So when I go back to my audit trail, now I see the one side of the transaction I've done. Manual adjustment highlighted in turquoise. So basically I just made a reversing entry here. So now what has to happen at my other location? See, nothing's happened here in the audit trail yet. So now what I'm going to do is go to my new transaction here, add a line, go down to the transaction to from, okay, put my Amex deposit back, and I'm going to do this as single column here. So I'm going to take this off of the bridge. That's a negative. Add a line, and I'm going to go put it back in the cash drawer. And I'll just say it's my Amex deposit. I select post. Now if I go look at my audit trail, there we go. That's exactly how transaction to from locations works. If I go look at my cash drawer again, there's my money. So one of the key things you want to remember about transaction to from location, especially if you're doing a manual adjustment, is you must do the other side of it. There's always two separate entries. Two separate entries. So if I'm looking at the general ledger in the enterprise, and I do a consolidated balance sheet, this journal here should always be at 0. If it's not at 0, that means you've only done one side of it. Or something is out of balance. So you're going to see a lot of things floating across here. If I look, you see the values of these entries. Payables, receivables that are managed at enterprise are going to come here. All kinds of values. So it all floats across this one bridge. That is how transaction to from other locations work.